What is up everyone? Today I'm taking a look at the Metal Robot Tamashii Gundam Barbatos Lupus. So if you're like me and you totally missed the retail release of this right here and you can't find one to get anymore, then you can get it exactly where I got mine, which is from those fantastic people over at Buyee. So I will throw a link as usual down there in the description. So when it comes to the Metal Robot Tamashii line of Iron-Blooded Orphans figures, by the way, we have another one coming sometime in the future, I think, which is the Bale. But yeah, when it comes to these, so far, I am thoroughly impressed. I've already reviewed both the Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex as well as the Gundam Vidar. Now, both of these are so impressive to me and I love them so much. These are front and center right above my desk. I need them in my line of sight all of the time. They are that cool. They are so much more impressive than the high grades as you would expect at their price point, but they also contain a whole lot of extra awesome stuff, including the crackling effect parts, which make them such an amazing display. As we can see right here on the box, that is exactly the same with the Gundam Barbatos Lupus, which personally is my favorite variant of Barbatos, full stop. The Rex is awesome, but the Lupus is just both savage and regal at the same time instead of full-on savage like the Rex. Around in the back of the box we can see a whole bunch of stuff going on in here, and one thing I didn't expect to see in here is that giant mobile armor slaying sword. So there is a lot to look at. I'm seeing some mace chans, the sword mace, and that giant sword. So this box is small, but it looks like it's gonna be packed. Let's get it open. So once we finally do get everything out of this box, you can see that this is without a single doubt the ultimate Barbatos Lupus set right here. You've got everything you could ever want. Included in here with the Barbatos Lupus itself is a full stand as well as an extra set of clear arms. When it comes to the weapons, we've got the absolutely ginormous Valkyria Buster Sword, the Sword Mace, the pair of twin maces. Long-range weaponry includes the 200mm guns, that's two of those, and two of the ARM rocket launchers, as well as all of the different adapters and bits for attaching everything. When it comes to optional parts, we've got 6 extra hands, that is not including the 2 already attached, for a grand total of 8. And finally, we have that ridiculous giant V-fin with crackling energy coming from the eyes. And honestly, to me already, this is looking better than the one we got with the Rex, and that is blowing my mind. Anyway, first off, let's check out the aesthetics on the Lupus itself. So now jumping into the aesthetics with a full 360-degree spin, and there is so much to say about this. First off, it looks phenomenal. We've got absolutely every type of different surface, finish, and general look you could ever want when it comes to the colors. We've got gloss red, metallic gold, semi-gloss blue, matte white, some glossy black in places, and that is all set off by the fact that this has a die-cast frame running through it, so you can see the actual metal gleaming inside of that as well. We've got so many different colors, decals, and for the most part from a distance, everything looks absolutely immaculate. The minor details on this are phenomenal, from the pipes inside the arms, the venting in the legs, chest, and we've got such tiny minute decaling everywhere, which is incredible to look at. Metallic pistons in the back of the legs, the white has been split into 2 shades, that is pure white and a light grey to give it that little bit of contrast. And even the individual details on the head are painted to perfection, including the eyes, which are metallic, which catches the light nicely. This looks fantastic from every angle, in every pose, and I am blown away. But I will mention there are some little issues and some little awesomenesses that we're going to check out right now by getting in a bit closer. So now that we're jumping in a little bit closer, I might as well talk about the little not so awesome aspects about this figure first. There is the typical Tamashii Nations issues. Now, it is usual that when you get something by Robot Tamashii, even the metal build figures, that there's going to be some rough cuts here and there, and that is the case on this. Most of them are quite small and they're not that noticeable, but the ones in the front of the thruster side skirts, those are wicked bad. Those I noticed instantly, and they are a little bit of a letdown. These are not cheap figures, so that's not what you want to be seeing. Besides that though, there are a couple of tiny minute ones here and there, but nothing really all that noticeable compared to those ones. However, when it comes to the intricate tiny details, this thing is mind-blowing. I really do love what they've done with some aspects, like the little gold indents up on the shoulders. All the decals everywhere are super high definition. They look great, including this one right here up on the left hand shoulder. These are some beautiful decals. The green paint in those symbols on the knees, those are in a metallic green once again, just like the eyes, these catch the light in an awesome kind of way. And when you look into the Gundam frame inside of all of this armor, the piping details is quite cool. These are all done in a nice darkish red. The paint job is perfect, absolutely flawless, and it really adds that extra detail to that frame, even though it looks great with its die-cast parts, pistons, and everything else going on. This is a joy to behold. Let's check out what it comes with. So now jumping into the accessories, and there is the Metal Robot Tamashii Gundam Barbatos Lupus with absolutely everything that it comes with, and it comes with a lot. So first up we've got the stand. This is the same as we've seen so far with the Rex as well as Gundam Vidar, which means it is pretty awesome. We have two different adapters for attaching the Gundam onto. That is one which goes between its legs like so, which holds on very, very securely, and we've got a second one which attaches just above the butt flap round back. This attaches on quite well, just not as secure as the other one. As usual, we've got a whole bunch of locking mechanisms here to extend the stand and change its angle, as well as a flip out part on the smaller bit to lift this thing right up into the air. Next up in here, we've got a whole bunch of hands. That is the relaxed hands we've seen so far. A pair of widespread, savage-looking claws, a pair of standard fists, as well as a pair of holding hands for holding on to the included weapons. And speaking of the weapons we have in here, first off we've got some long-range weapons which attach onto the forearms. So first off we've got these little mount segments which attach onto a hard point on the elbow. Now we've got two different sets of long-range weapons to attach on here. First off, we've got a pair of 200mm guns. These are in the exact same awesome level of detail as the Gundam Barbatos Lupus itself, and these attach on quite simply. These can rotate round from stored position to ready to fire, and we do have a sliding mechanism in here which is lore accurate because there is a slide to absorb the recoil of this weapon in the anime, so it is right here. These look absolutely fantastic. Once again, same quality as the Lupus. Next up then we've got the two arm rocket launchers. These attach on in the exact same way, have the same level of detail including a Tekkadan logo down bottom. The other weapons did too, by the way. Same sliding mechanism, same spinning mechanism, and these just look so cool. Onto the close quarters melee weapons, and first off we've got the two twin maces. Again, like we've seen on everything in here, we've got some nice decals on here in red, some nice recessed detail, and all of the detailing and the sculpt is crisp as can be. In order to attach these into the hands, it's quite simply just pop out the handle like so, slide the handle into the holding hands, and then pop the top of the maraca back on. Once again, looking fantastic in every pose, the Metal Robot Tamashii Gundam Barbatos Lupus right here holds onto them no bother whatsoever, and when they are not in use, and this goes for all of the weapons, we can attach these adapters onto the backpack. By the way, I'll mention there is no arm segment inside the backpack to move these around. This is it. And then you just attach these onto the backpack just like you'd attach them into the hands that slide the handle into the attachment point and then pop on the tops. That is what they look like stored away on the backpack. Next up in here, we've got the absolutely iconic sword mace. Once again, looking just as phenomenal as everything we've seen. We've got some nice detailing, including the Tekkadan logo, recessed detailing on the blade, and it all looks phenomenal. Once again, the attachment is exactly the same. Pop out the handle like so, slide it into a holding hand like this, and then pop the blade back on. Once again, looking phenomenal once attached onto the Barbatos right here, but I will mention one tiny little bit of a down point. The shoulders on this aren't strong enough to hold it in a fully extended pose like so. I'm copying this pose right here from the anime, so it does do quite well, but if you lift it up, it will drop down in the ball and socket joint in the shoulder. This isn't the worst thing ever because I will mention why in a couple of seconds. So next up in here, we've got the Valkyria Buster Sword. So once again, absolutely huge. This attaches in the exact same way everything has so far by sliding in, pop the pommel back on, and this once again can be held by the Barbatos very well, but not so much at extended lengths. But that's not really the biggest deal like I mentioned already with the sword mace. The reason for that is we do get 2 alternate holding stand arms in here. One has 2 joints and one has 3. We then have this little clippy, grabby arm segment for up top, and this can be attached into the base to support any of the overly heavy weapons for some extended over-the-top poses. Now, I will mention, this is only required for extremely extended poses. Most of the time, this figure can hold them up quite well. Anyway, that's what the Valkyria Buster Sword looks like attached, looking pretty similar design-wise to the rest of the weapons in here, which is odd because this is not originally a Barbatos or Tekkadan weapon, but we do have a Gjallarhorn logo on here instead, but the red decaling is pretty much the same and probably just to gel all the accessories in this box together. Now, the last thing we have in here is one of the coolest aspects that these particular Metal Robot Tamashii Iron-Blooded Orphans figures have, and that is an alternate blade antenna or V-fin that looks ridiculously cool with crackling, murderous, savage, demonic energy. To attach this, you just push down on the standard blade like so, it pops off super easy, and then slide on the alternate version like this. Again, super easy but holds on perfectly. This has multiple points of articulation along the length of the crackling energy, so that means you can actually pose these around to go with the pose that you're gonna put your Barbie into. And speaking of this pose right here, this of course once again is taken from the anime, but he should be, or should I say, it should be missing its right arm. Now, I didn't want to tug or pull or attempt to remove the arm to see if you could. The instructions doesn't mention anything about removing it, so I did not remove it. So I just kind of did the pose as if Barbie was doing it with both arms attached. But once again, this energy looks so cool. And speaking of crackling Barbatos energy, here it is side by side with the Metal Robot Tamashii Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex. So comparatively, these are similar. They both are the same color, they're both crackling lightning red energy, they're both clear and catch the light perfectly. But the one here on Lupus has so much more forks of lightning and looks even more powerful than the one on the Rex. So this is quite a treat for the eyes. But anyway, we've seen it in a bunch of awesome poses. Let's find out what exactly this can do in the articulation. So now moving into the articulation, I will mention the shoulders are a little bit weak, a little weaker than I'd like them to have been. There is 2 joints there that kind of flap up and down and don't take too much to knock them. Besides that, rock solid. So Barbie Lupus right here has a full, decent, and I mean glorious giggity goo double joint here. The bottom joint is a hinge and the top joint is a ball joint. We'll mention the ball joint up top though is a little bit spongy feeling. So even after you move it as much as you wanted to, it might move back ever so slightly. Or sometimes it just won't move at all and just go back to where it was. It's odd, but you get the hang of it eventually. So now taking a look at the shoulder, and the shoulder can move up and down as well as forward and back at this point. That is doubled up then with a ball and socket, which gives you the full shoulder roll and allows the arm to move up and down as well. We got full 360-degree spin there. And we do have another point of articulation underneath the shoulder. So when I pop off the shoulder, you can see that the shoulder joint is treble jointed, so it moves inside of the shoulder, has a hinge above that, and then a ball joint up top. And as for that other joint I was mentioning about the arm, this can be incredibly hard to get it to bend. That is because the ball in the shoulder is very weak, and this is incredibly strong, and it tends to move with the ball instead of here. We also have a joint inside of the shoulder armor, which allows the red segment to actually bend downwards like this on a hinge, so that is pretty cool that you can segment this out. We've got full 360 spin at the upper arm right here. As for the bend at the elbow, that is single jointed, but gets you all you could ever need. Lost a hand. I will also mention at this point, when the arm is bent, it is absolutely gorgeous inside there. What they've done with the Gundam frame here is eye-meltingly great looking. Seeing as the hand fell off, we might as well take a look at the wrist inside there. So we've got a hinge right here. It can rotate inside of the forearm, and once you pop the hand back on, we've got a ball joint up top, so you can get pretty much whatever kind of pose you want out of this wrist. The ab zone on this version of Barbie is incredible. We've got a crunch up here. We've got a second joint down below that gets us even more. Well, this is technically a waist giggity goo right here. The lower waist joint can rotate all the way around, but can be a little bit hard to grab onto it in order to do so. And when you do rotate the upper joint, the pistons move as well, which is really cool. Don't hyper rotate this because the pistons will fall out. Standard ball jointed front skirtings can flip up. The side skirts can rotate back and forward like so, and there is a little bit of a pivot to them there to change the angle. Butt flap doesn't move. There is the kick all the way up to the front, so about parallel to the ground. No mechanism inside the waist. Next up, there it is all the way out to the back, blocked by the butt flap. And that right there is what we got when it comes to the splits, which is pretty much perfect. Rotation at the upper leg is a little bit blocked, but all you could ever need. And we've got a double jointed bend at the knee, and that is the full bend. So pretty good. And does mean we can see some more of that awesome frame with those red wires. At the foot, we do have a little bit of moving armor right here. On the ground, the ankle allows Barbie to move all the way forward like that, which is very nice. All the way to the back like so, which is a little bit blocked. And the pivot goes pretty much the entire direction from there all the way over to there. That is mad. And as for the toe then, we've got a bend downwards, but no bend upwards. So anyway, when it comes to the articulation, sure, there is one stiff joint up in the shoulder and the legs could kick up a little higher, but all of the subtle eking you can do at all of these phenomenal yet strong joints gets you some ridiculously cool and very animalistic poses. That is exactly what you want from Gundam Barbatos Lupus. And honestly, this is one of the most fun to pose figures I've ever laid my hands on. I am having a blast with this. It is awesome. So anyway, that is it for my review of the Metal Robot Tamashii Gundam Barbatos Lupus. What can I say? This thing has blown my mind. I love the last two that I looked at, but to me, I think this is my favorite Gundam frame, and Bandai has definitely done it justice. Sure, there is a couple of rough cuts on this, as you'd always see with a, well, figure by Tamashii Nations, but from a distance and most of the time when you're looking at it, you won't really notice it, and to me, it's not a deal breaker. But besides that, this looks fantastic. The paint apps are phenomenal, the decals look great. When it comes to the weapons, you've got pretty much everything you want, well, except for the long sword, but you've pretty much got the entire loadout and so much to choose. Finally then, when it comes to the strength of this figure as well as its articulation, this thing absolutely rocks. The poses you can get out of this are so good. So what can I say? This is my favorite variant across everything, across Gunpla and across figures that I have ever seen of Barbatos. It is that awesome. So if you are seriously thinking of getting one, I highly recommend it. And you can get yours where I got mine through that link down there in the description to buy it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gundam reviews, and I will see you next time. As always, all my thanks to each and every one of you guys for making this channel possible, including those who support me over on the channel memberships and on Patreon, including Craig Jerry, Caleb Engelhart, Sean T. Van Fon, Global Frequency Studios, Lawrence C. Hack, Joseph Kukluk, Mr. Winter, and Forsetti.